Hello and welcome to this transition presentation, which is relevant for our Year 7 students who are starting at NUAST in September 2020. So to remind everybody about NUAST's vision, NUAST is Nottingham City's STEM school. Therefore, we focus on science, technology, engineering and maths. And this is relevant even at Year 7 level. When NUAST started, we were a Key Stage 4 and a Key Stage 5 centre with the vision of STEM. And even though we are now a Key Stage 3, 4 and 5 school, our focus remains very much of the STEM subjects. So this slide shows you the key staff that are going to be important for you and your child during their time at NUAST. Head of Year 7 is Miss Firth, and you would have heard her voice on the bulletins. In the central picture is Mrs. Akhtar, who is our Pastoral Support Officer. So Miss Akhtar will be providing the day-to-day support when Miss Firth is teaching and unavailable. My picture of myself there, Assistant Principal for Pastoral, Mr. Tapp. We have Miss Fountain, who is our safeguarding lead and works with individuals and families who require any safeguarding support, and also working with external agencies. And we have Mrs. Turgoose, who is our SENG coordinator. So any support and intervention that is required with a focus of special educational needs is coordinated by Mrs. Turgoose. This slide represents how serious NUAST takes safeguarding. So every picture on this slide shows you members of staff that have had additional training to ensure that they are a designated safeguarding lead. So we have a large number of staff at NUAST who have additional experience and training when dealing with any safeguarding concerns. So moving to the school day, from a Monday to Thursday, the students will be expected to be on site from 8:25 in the morning and will finish school at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Our lessons are 45 minutes long, and there is a tutor time, a break time, and a lunch time included within the normal school day. On a Friday, our school day is different. We have an 8:25 start, which remains the same. However, Friday is a 2:15 finish. So it's a shorter day on a Friday. Our curriculum at Year 7, as I've already said, is very much focused on STEM. So how does this actually look on a timetable? Well, students don't have science on their timetable. They will have biology, chemistry and physics, so they'll be taught those subjects as separate lessons. Every Year 7 will have access to engineering, technology and robotics and computer science, and maths and mathematics will also play an important part on their curriculum. But it's important also to mention here that students will also get a range of subjects which you would find within any secondary school, including history, geography, PE and food. So breaks and lunch times at NUAST. Firstly, to mention that there is a free breakfast club which is available to students from 8 a.m. every morning, with cereal, toast, fruit, yogurts all available. It's free to everybody, and we get a good number of students who are attending that every day. Our break time is normally 15 minutes and our lunch is 40 minutes long. We have two food areas for break and lunchtime. So we have the downstairs breakout cafe area, and we have the main canteen, which is on our top floor. And a hot meal up in the canteen on the top floor is £2.10. We work a cashless system at NUAST. So parents can upload money online, or students can bring money in to school and they can put that money onto one of our machines and it will automatically upload onto their account. And currently our payment method for the cashless system is a fingerprint system which students use. Whether we will be able to use that in September based on current guidelines, we're not sure, but it is our preferred method as it is the safest way and avoids students having to carry a large volume of money around every day. Just to mention here as well, if you are currently in receipt of a free school meal at your current primary school, it is important that you notify your local authority that you are moving to NUAST and starting here in September 2020. Please don't assume that councils will automatically update their records you will need to contact them. So you can see on this slide NUAST calendar for the academic year. A couple important points to highlight here. Firstly, we have a 3-week Christmas holiday, so we will finish on Friday the 11th of December for 3 weeks. How that is also different is that we will only have a 1-week October holiday. So most schools in the city will have a 2-week October holiday and a 2-week Christmas holiday. We have 1 week in October and 3 weeks at Christmas. This is particularly important if any parents are planning on a holiday in October. It's important that you try to correlate that holiday with NUAST holiday dates. If students are taking time out of the academic year to go on holiday, that will be unauthorised, and it may result in further sanctions, be it fines from education and welfare. The rest of the school year runs very similar to every other school in the city, whether it be a primary or a secondary school. So the start date for Year 7s for 2020 will be Tuesday the 1st of September. We will expect students to be on site from 8:25 in the morning, and it will be a 3 p.m. finish. So looking at group setting, we will have broad and balanced tutor groups. So we'll make sure that they are as fair as possible. So where we have students that a large number of students are coming from one primary school, we will spread them out and make sure they are balanced amongst all 5 of our tutor groups. If we have an individual coming to us and they're the only student coming from their primary school, it's important that they don't worry about that, because there will be another 4 or 5 students at least within their tutor group who are in exactly the same situation as them. Initially, subject groups will be mixed ability for the first weeks, but we will then set based on ability across all subjects in Year 7, and this will be set on the following information: Key Stage 2 data, which has been passed on to us by our primary school, and then there will be some online assessments that our Year 7s will complete within the first couple of weeks at NUAST. We will do what we call a CAT test, which is a cognitive ability test, and then there will be baseline assessments in English, maths and science. Again, these are not for any, no one needs to worry about these. And there will be plenty of opportunity throughout the years for groups to change based on progress at that time. We will also review our tutor groups at the end of the first half term to see if we've actually got the groupings right or if we do need to make any changes. So basic expectations: being secondary school ready. We expect our students coming to us to be able to pack their own school bag and make sure that they have the right equipment for the right day in their school bag. They need to be able to read and follow a timetable, and it's important to mention here that students will have lots of different staff and possibly be in lots of different rooms on their timetable. Here is an example of a timetable, and you can see how much information is contained on there. I think it's important that students start to know and get used to their timetable as quickly as they can, because it takes and eradicates a lot of stress and anxiety about not knowing where they are or what lessons they have in a day. It's important that students also realise that NUAST is a very varied community and environment. We have 11-year-old students in the building, but we'll also have 19-year-old students in the building. And it's a very diverse group, but I think it works very well because our 11-year-olds can see what our high-performing 18 and 19-year-old students look like and aspire to be them. It's important that students learn how to travel to and from school, and whether that be using public transport or walking to school. We are a school which is situated in Nottingham City, and students are going to be expected to travel to us during rush hour, and it's important that they know public transport timetables, but also have a plan B or a plan C if plan A goes wrong. They need to be able to manage their money, so if parents are giving students £10 for the week, it's important they manage that and don't spend it all within the first couple of days. They need to be able to manage their time. This is not just about travelling to school in the morning, but it's also about managing their time to allow them to do homework, and also managing their breaks and lunch times to ensure that they go to the toilet during breaks and lunchtime, because they're not going to be able to go to the toilet during lesson time at NUAST. And all of these Basic expectations will allow students to be ready to learn, but it's important that you also are aware that you'll be supported by NUAST staff throughout these expectations. We're not going to expect you to know them all straight away, and there'll be lots of support and guidance, especially within the first few weeks, to help you try to reach these expectations. Other expectations: we expect students to attend school every day. We have a 98% target at NUAST, and if students fall below this target and continue to drop in their attendance, we will intervene, provide support where it's required, and to hope to see an improvement in attendance. But if attendance continues to remain below our expectations, we will start the process of getting Education Welfare Service involved, which could lead to fines or possibly court actions. It's important that our students are smartly dressed. You can see 3 of our students here very smartly dressed, and it's important that our new Year 7s are smartly dressed at all times, because it allows us to continue to create our business ethos and environment. A tip that I would give Year 7s here is to learn how to do a tie over the summer holidays, because we don't use clip-on ties at NUAST. It is a normal tie that they will need to know how to tie up. School bag, please go for practicality above fashion. So that bag is not allowed because it's not a practical option. The rucksack is the preferred and recommended choice for our students, because it allows you to have all your books, equipment, packed lunch and PE kit possibly in there, and it will be comfortable to allow you to carry that bag. So please go for the rucksack option. You'll get given a planner. I'm not going to spend too much time here going through the planner. Ms. Firth has put together a bulletin which focuses on the planner and the importance of it. But again, it's a very, very important piece of equipment that our students have, and it is an expectation that they have that at all times and use it regularly. Pencil case. The point to probably pick out here is a scientific calculator. Students will need a scientific calculator to allow them to access their maths and their science lessons. Students will have lockers available to them. In September, Ms. Firth will say that all that students need to do is to bring in a padlock and key for a locker, and then you will get assigned to a locker, and it will be the students for the year. Highly recommended that students get one of those, because it allows them to manage their school equipment conveniently throughout the school year. Again, these basic expectations will allow our students to be ready to learn, that they'll be supported by NUAST staff to ensure that if there are any initial concerns, these can be solved and guidance be provided. Looking at uniform guidance, there is a lot of information on our website regarding our expectations about school uniform. I'm not going to go through every single element of that expectation here. I'm just going to pick out a couple of the key messages. So the first one relating to shoes. Students at NUAST are not allowed to wear Velcro shoes or trainers. They will need to turn up and be wearing slip-on shoes or lace-up shoes only. So the 3 pictures on the slide here are absolutely fine and meet the expectations of NUAST. However, the 3 pictures here do not meet our expectations, because they're either a trainer or they are a Velcro shoe. So we encourage and expect students not to arrive in these, because if they do, they will get challenged and there will be contact home asking for shoes to be changed. And please don't assume just because Clark's or Asda Stay is a school shoe that automatically meets with NUAST expectations. It's important that it is a slip-on or a lace-up formal shoe. Other uniform guidance: no skinny trousers or jeans are allowed to be worn at NUAST, so it needs to be a normal, regular fit pair of formal trousers. If girls are going to wear a skirt, it needs to be to at least the knee length. No false eyelashes or false nails or nail varnish will be allowed. Students wearing earrings, it needs to be a 1 stud, which is worn in the earlobe. PE wise, boys will need to have black shorts and black sports socks. I'd advise football socks. Girls have the option of wearing black leggings, black tracksuit bottoms or black shorts, and again black sports socks. I don't mind if there's a small logo on the black shorts or tracksuit bottoms, as long as it is relatively small. Footwear, we are currently unsure what activities we will be able to deliver in September. So I would advise against buying football boots at the moment and will go towards an AstroTurf trainer. We will advise parents in future correspondence regarding any changes to this and when we will hope to start to deliver contact sport which require football boots. Rewards and sanctions. So NUAST rewards excellent behaviour, but we will challenge and sanction inappropriate behaviour. So NUAST does have an exclusion policy, and we will look to use this most serious sanction if and when we feel that behaviour is at that level. We have a house system at NUAST, and students will be assigned to a house, whether that be Coates, Green or Franklin, and students will receive a small pin badge which they wear on their blazer, which will identify which house they are in. And there are a number of different activities and challenges throughout the year where students can earn points for their house or for themselves individually. So NUAST has lots and lots of different rewards, types of rewards and ways of that we acknowledge and reward good behaviour, good attendance, and also improvements in behaviour and attendance. We have a number of trips and events which happen at the end of each term, and students work towards these by accumulating a significant number of house points or maintaining a very, very good attendance throughout the term, but also the year. Sanctions, it's been at the bottom of each of these slides, but it's very, very important that NUAST ethos is work hard, be kind. I'm yet to tell anybody off who's worked too hard or has been too kind, and it's those 4 words, if they remain in the forefront of our students' approach and thinking at NUAST, it's very unlikely that it's going to go wrong for them. However, we are also acknowledged that it does go wrong at times, and we have 2 different strands of our sanction system. We have a department system and we have a pastoral sanction system. So the department will be very much dealing with behaviours within that department, and that may result in a 15-minute, a 30-minute or a 1-hour detention for inappropriate or poor behaviours that are occurred within that subject when within that classroom. Pastorally, we'll review behaviour across the whole curriculum, and if we notice that it's going wrong for students across the whole curriculum, that's when the pastoral team, Miss Firth or the tutor team, will step in and provide support and intervention and sanctions where appropriate. NUAST uses a consequence system. So if a teacher has a phone call home and speaks to parents and they start talking about house points, parents will know that it's something that's good that happened. If they start mentioning consequences or a C1, C2, C3 or C4, parents can know that there's been a concern or an issue that's occurred within that lesson. So C1 is our most minor behaviour issue, and C4 is our most significant and major behaviour issue. And if a student does get sanctioned with a C4, it's highly likely they will be removed from that class and be spoken to by either the head of year or a member of senior leadership, and possibly removed from that lesson for the rest of its timetabled time. Running alongside our consequence system, we have our non-negotiables. Now, these are the responsibility of the pastoral team, and these are expectations that we have of our students all day, every day. The nice thing about our non-negotiables is that they're not difficult to achieve, but if students do achieve these, it allows NUAST to create a calm, focused and safe environment for all staff and students. So to pick out a few of these, mobile phones and accessories, all mobiles are banned at NUAST. If students are to bring a mobile phone to school, it needs to be turned off and placed in their bag, and it must remain in their bag for the whole of the school day. Uniform needs to be smart, so shirts tucked in and tie wore appropriately, and blazer and shirt not rolled up. Basic equipment, we've covered this previously with the planner and the pencil case, but the bag, the pencil case and planner must be brought to school every single day. One more to mention here, which is just to the right of the initial poster where it says okay, not okay. NUAST has a non-contact non-negotiable for all of our students. So students are not allowed to touch other students. This was a non-negotiable that we brought in prior to lockdown because I believe it creates a much safer and appropriate environment for all. Opportunities at NUAST. We have lots of different opportunities at NUAST. So starting on this slide with the top left is our VEX robotics team. So opportunities to build and compete with robots against other schools. Our top right is our Year 7 athletics team from 2 years ago, and we will be running a very detailed extracurricular program, both within sport but across other subjects of the curriculum. Bottom left is a picture from our visit from China. So every year we have a student from China visiting NUAST, and there is also potential for our post-16 students to go over to China to visit them. And our bottom right picture here, we endeavour to arrange a residential for Year 7, which is a 2-night, 3-day residential to Durham Valley, which is up in Yorkshire. Currently, I'm unable to confirm that with our new Year 7 parents in light of the current lockdown and guidance, but I'm hopeful that we will be able to arrange and run a residential for our Year 7 students at some point in the near future. We also have an attitude to learning score at NUAST. Miss Firth has a bulletin which covers this in much more detail than I'm going to go into now, but for each subject, students will be awarded a score of either a 1 to a 4, 1 being outstanding and 4 being unsatisfactory, and that takes into account all of the 5 categories which are in the table. And we expect our students to be hitting a half-termly target of 1.8. The reason we set a 1.8 target, it means that good is not good enough, and we want our students to be achieving outstanding grades across their subjects. So what will September look like? I have gone through lots of information here, and I'm very aware that there may be changes to this information based on the guidance that we are continuing to receive from the government and from the Department for Education. So I will speak to you now regarding some of those changes and hopefully relate it to the information that we have already spoken about. Any changes to this information within this presentation, we will communicate out to parents before the start of the new academic year. So some different scenarios here. Normal school day for all year groups. I think we can probably rule out a normal school day, and I do believe that we will be looking at delivering and managing our students within either year group or class bubbles. Now, that will mean that students will remain within that class or within that year group bubble for their time, and it will at NUAST, and it will limit and stop contact with students that are outside of that bubble, whether that be a class bubble or a year group bubble. So that will mean that we will have staggered starts to the school day and staggered end times, and we will also have lunches and possibly break times which will happen at different points throughout the day. And from reading the guidance, I do believe that this idea of a year group or a class bubble is very much the way that we will be moving forward with our organisation at NUAST. So I will be confident to say that I can expect parents to receive information about a slightly altered start time to the one that I've presented earlier within the slides. There is potential for a reduced curriculum with an increased focus on English and mathematics. I believe that attendance will be compulsory from September, so the current fine system, which is postponed, will be back in place, and families will face fines or further action if they choose not to send their child to NUAST. And I do believe that there will be a focus on reducing persistent disruptive behaviour. We're still unsure about some of the details on this, and please be rest assured that NUAST are starting to already plan what September will look like, and I reiterate again here, any changes or any information which is important for parents and students will be communicated out as soon as it's been confirmed at NUAST. So lots of information within this presentation. I hope it provides more detail about what NUAST is like and the expectations that we have at NUAST, and hopefully I've touched on some of the changes that may occur in September. I hope coming to the end of this presentation that it's allowed you to be more confident and assured with NUAST as the next school for your child, and I hope that the jump is slightly smaller and the landing is a lot softer, and we can get students running towards fantastic achievement and progress as quickly as we possibly can. I thank you for taking time for looking at this presentation, And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact NUAST, and we will look to either answer your question or provide you with any further information as required. Thank you very much.